You start a new project. You are obsessed. You buy the books. You watch the tutorials. You tell your friends, this is it. 3 weeks later, you don't care. The energy is gone. You're already looking at something else. Most people call this flaking. You probably call it laziness, but psychology says it is something completely different. You feel broken. You watch others pick a path. They climb the ladder. They stay there. Meanwhile, you restart every 6 months. You worry you will never build anything real. But what if your brain isn't broken? What if it is actually designed for a function society has forgotten? By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why you are like this and how to use it. Here is the first hard truth. You are not quitting these projects because you lack discipline. You are quitting them because you have already got what you came for. You don't crave success in the traditional sense. You crave the feeling of learning. Once the learning curve flattens, your brain checks out. That is not a defect. It is a filter. Let's give this a name. Psychology calls this multipotentiality. Most of the world is made of specialists. They drill deep into one hole. They find comfort in repetition and mastery of one tiny domain. You are a generalist. Your brain connects dots that shouldn't be connected. When you start guitar, then switch to coding, then switch to baking, you aren't just jumping around. You are building a web. Specialists see one tree, you see the forest ecosystem. The problem isn't your brain. The problem is you're trying to force a generalist brain into a specialist world. You are a Swiss Army knife trying to be a hammer. Here's what people get wrong about focus. They think focus means doing one thing forever. For you, focus is cyclical. Think of a farmer. They don't plant the same crop in every field every season. That destroys the soil. They rotate crops. Your interest isn't lost. It is just in a different season. You feel shame because you think you quit, but you didn't quit. You graduated, you learned the core competency, you solved the puzzle, and now you are ready for the next puzzle. If you stayed, you would actually be stagnating. Your movement is your growth. Let's look at the biology. Psychology links this to the trait of openness to experience. It is one of the big 5 personality traits. You likely score extremely high here. High openness means your dopamine system, the reward chemical, triggers heavily on novelty. When something is new, your brain lights up. You feel alive. You learn faster than anyone else in the room. But once the novelty fades, when it becomes paperwork, your dopamine drops off a cliff. This is why you are great at starting businesses and terrible at managing them. This is why you are an amazing brainstormer but a bored executor. You are biologically wired for the 0 to 1 phase, not the 1 to 10 phase. So, how do you survive in a world that wants specialists? You don't pick one thing. You use the / approach. Don't be a writer / coder. Don't be a teacher. Be a teacher, designer. Combine your interests. 1. Identify your current obsessions. List them out. 2. Find the intersection. Where do they meet? 3. Rotate your focus. Give yourself permission to be obsessed with one thing for 3 months. Then switch. Stop looking for a career path. Start building a skill stack. Research into adaptive performance shows that in rapidly changing environments, generalists outperform specialists. Why? Because specialists rely on past rules. Generalists rely on pattern recognition. Because you have dipped your toe into 10 different pools. You can speak languages others can't. You can explain engineering to the marketing team. You can explain psychology to the data analysts. You are the translator. That is a rare and high-value role. But you only find it if you stop shaming yourself for having the skills to do it. Listen to me. There is nothing wrong with you. The shame you feel? That is just society's voice. Society likes workers who fit in boxes because they are easy to replace. You are not easy to replace. You are complex. If you had lived in the Renaissance, they would have called you a genius. Today, they call you unfocused. That is an error in the timeline, not an error in your DNA. Your life isn't meant to be a straight line. It is meant to be a mosaic. Every failed hobby, every abandoned project, it is a tile in that mosaic. You might not see the picture yet. You are too close to it. But one day, 10 years from now, you will need exactly the combination of skills you gathered during your aimless years. You will realize you weren't lost. You were just collecting the pieces for a masterpiece only you can build. But there is a danger, a specific trap. It stops you from building that mosaic. It looks like boredom. But it isn't. And if you can't tell the difference, you will never finish anything that matters. Are you a specialist or a generalist? Tell me in the comments. I read them. If this made you feel understood, subscribe. We dissect the mind every week. Go build your mosaic.